he was nodding off, therefore he was getting coffee to stop from nodding off. But that's also the second floor, which is so right where the suitcase currently is, if you go up and drop it from there, you just have to drop it straight down on him. Very well, Mr. Justice.
Take that!
Oh, that's... I should wrap things up nice and pretty for you, Mr. Wright. I asked the court to recall the study's layout, but this time, instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method at work. The killer didn't have to swing the suitcase. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. That's right, it was the plaintiff, one politician Wimperson, who used the suitcase. He pushed it from the 2nd floor and sent it hurtling down onto Dr. Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar. The psychology book had been at the coffee bar, no doubt. Doctor must have... Yeah, because it was... That explains how it has both blood and coffee on it. So yeah, that's basically everything. Killer thought to hide it in that mountain of books. That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice. But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar. I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright. Say that evidence of the murder occurring at the coffee bar. The evidence does exist, and I'm going to show you. Right here is proof that the murder took place at the coffee bar. Well, yeah, the book has coffee on it. Brown stain was determined to be coffee. What's more, it was still a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. One look at this book speaks volumes, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright. It tells us the doctor was having a cup of coffee at the coffee bar. That's when the suitcase came hurtling down, striking him on the head, causing both his blood and his coffee to spatter onto it. Well, Mr. Titian Wimperson, what motive could I have possibly had to kill Dr. Buff? And there it is, that final excuse cornered killers are so fond of. Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the cave ruins. Telling him that the Defiant Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All I did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctor saw the news report, so he knew the relic was the Founder's orb. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that meant keeping it out of your hands. You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you that you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Titian Wimperson? I think that is...
Hold it!
Apollo, please don't accuse my client of murder. Huh? What do you mean, don't accuse him? Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright? What I meant was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead. Phoenix, what happened to your buddy? It's in our nation's best interest to avoid burdening him with the taint of scandal. Say what? Right, you'd better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder. And you know what will happen to her if that happens. Has Maya been kidnapped again? What's he talking about? Well, I can ponder that later. For now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. Rebel is a killer. You're really going to send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that. Well, Mr. Wright, answer me. Mr. Wright? What in the world's going on here? If you won't say anything, then... Mr. Titian Wimperson, the defense hereby accuses you of... Oh, wait. Not you too, Athena. It's just, I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but during that last recess, when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have. Trust Maya as on the out. Can't really say. Just remember, if I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind, if you catch my drift. Relax. All you have to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs. What do they want that relic for, anyway? It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret. Maya? As in Maya Fey? Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant. His face being held up. So it seems. Why you tell me as soon as you heard this? Sorry, it's just Mr. Wright spotted me before I could slip away. Made me promise not to tell you. Said it would make things more difficult if you found out. As things were already hard enough. So that's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange. I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him. I think, Justice, there's got to be something you can do. Mr. Justice, about that last statement of yours, I believe you were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue? I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry. What's gotten into you two? If I accuse that slime bag, I put Miss Faye's life in jeopardy. It seems you finally caught on. Far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders. Either I give up, or... Once I present the crystal to my patron, my victory is assured. And one day I'll become president, and then king. I'm every politician in my command. Now retract your accusations. I can't kowtow to him, but the defense would like to retract the previous
Objection!
Apollo. Dirk? I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now, with defeat and resignation written all over your face.
A dragon never yields.
Even when wounded, the dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. Dirk, the dragon never yields. He's right. It's all over if I give up now. Mr. Wright's hands are tied. It's up to me to do what must be done. He saved my neck so many times. Now, it's my turn to save his. Dirk, thanks for that wake-up call. Now that's the face of a lawyer you've got there, son. Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to find the way to save Miss Faye and see that justice is served. Huh. Seems the patron believes in the orb's legend. The thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend said. Okay, this isn't... I thought it was going to be related to the fingerprints, but... We've already solved the riddle. Not yet. Here's the whole thing that, yeah, the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns. It means we haven't solved the whole riddle yet. But how can that be? Are we missing something? Maybe. Or about the founder returning should be taken literally. Okay, so this is what I thought it was. If you have her face and her name, you can actually channel the founder. There is a way for the dead to return. Spirit channeling. Of course, you'd have to know what the founder looks like first. The orb has revealed her face to us, so what if it's a sign that we should channel her? In fact, in order to solve the riddle and receive the founder's power, I need a spirit medium. Retain the power of... Key to unlocking the orb's secret. These are Wimperson's patron will need one. Oh! Once the slimy politician realizes that they can't do anything to Miss Faye, they can't do anything to Maya because they'll need her to actually use the orb. Oh, that's a nice, that's a good one. I think it's going to be okay, Mr. Wright, because Mr. Politician Wimperson can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Faye's head. Huh? Mr. Titian Wimperson, it seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage. What do you mean? Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receive great spiritual power. However, only Maya Fey can truly give them what they really want. She can? What do you mean, only Maya Fey? Think about what the return of the founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Khura'in, the birthplace of spirit mediums. Ah, I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them. But in Khura'Inism, depicting the face of the founder is taboo. However, her true face was hidden in the orb. Right, so maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the founder. Exactly. Through a spirit medium, the founder can quite literally return. And if the legend is true, the founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she does. It's like when Pearl's imbued by Magatama with spiritual... Yeah, we actually... Technically, Pearls could maybe do it. If a human could be imbued with such power in a similar manner. It said the founder possesses immense spiritual power. Maybe don't mention Pearls. It's a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her. Wait a second, then the legend is true. You understand now, Mr. Titian Wimperson? You are holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. And if anything were to happen to her, the riddle would remain unsolved forever. There's always Pearl Faye. I can simply ask her to help. She wants money, I have plenty to offer. She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain, and she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin. Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Khura'in to channel the founder for you? You could, but you'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing. It's over. Now confess, you killed Dr. Buff, didn't you? It wasn't supposed to end this way. Mr. Titian Wimperson, are you admitting to committing the crime? You're my lawyer, right? Do something. It's true that I'm your lawyer, and as such, it's my job to defend you. However, defending my client isn't the only duty a lawyer has. There's something else that's equally as important, and that is finding the truth. What? Mr. Titian Wimperson, you have sought to twist the truth in the dirtiest of ways. I was complicit in your hostage-taking, but in a way, I was being held hostage too. Even so, there's still hope for me to make things right. And I owe it all to you, Apollo. Mr. Wright, you can't allow a murderer to walk away scot-free. Therefore, Mr. Titian Wimperson, I must resign as your attorney. Does this mean I'm under arrest? No. Well, I have nothing to confess. What? I said I have nothing to confess. I don't and I won't, especially not to a plebeian like you. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Besides, there's no truth to these allegations. I mean, look at this case. You won't find a single print of mine on it. All that means is you wipe them off, taking care to only leave Mr. a rebels. As many a great politician has said before me, no comment. In that case, try switching things up, Apollo. Yeah, I think I know where to go from here. Is there really nothing that points to the suitcase being dropped from up above? Evidence that points to the suitcase being dropped from the second floor. Killer pushed the suitcase from the second floor hallway over the coffee bar. That would place him right around here. Maybe, just maybe. Thought of something, Apollo? I believe this piece of evidence to be connected to the dropping of the suitcase.
Take that!
It's the only one we haven't... Well, maybe not the only one we haven't used yet, but... The night of the murder, Your Honor, Miss Army Buff physically left her room. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and subsequently passed out. Right above the coffee bar. With her there in her wheelchair, the killer wouldn't have been able to drop the suitcase down onto the doctor. Good point. However, according to Sarge, she woke up just as someone was trying to move her in her wheelchair. Ah. Someone's pushing... Yep, his fingerprints are going to be on the handles. Because she left... He wiped off the suitcase, but he didn't have time to wipe the handles off of the wheelchair before she ran away. Must have been the killer's way and had to be moved. Isn't that right, Mr. Titian Wimperson? Here. And if the killer had pushed the wheelchair with his bare hands, we may yet find the conclusive evidence we need. Exactly. Fortunately for us, that evidence slipped right through the killer's fingers. If only he'd been able to hold on to it just a little tighter. But now he's neither able to discard nor alter it. Honestly, that piece of evidence wasn't even supposed to be here in this courtroom today. And yet, it looks like sometimes things do get better. But this wasn't supposed to happen. No? Well, too bad, because the evidence that sped away from you that night has come back to haunt you, right here at this very trial. Your Honor, the defense's final piece of evidence is on this person.
Take that!
This. On the night of the murder, Sarge passed out, only to come to and find that someone's pushing her wheelchair. That's when she fled back into her room. She didn't physically see a single soul after that. Not until Athena drew her out through that therapy session, that is. While the killer was able to wipe the prints on the suitcase off, the same can't be said for the prints that got away. My fellow Coranians. Well, Mr. Politician Wimperson, try to explain your way out of this one. The podium is all yours. not a crook. My political career can't end like this. I'm destined for great things. Something's wrong. This is real. A dream, no, a nightmare. Arrested on murder charges and stretches to electoral win. Completely broke. Well, he's down for the count. Get him to the first aid station on the double. Oh, this was yet another unexpected turn of events. In light of everything that's been revealed, it seems the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. And it seems Mr. Politician Wimperson can be considered a suspect in Dr. Buff's murder. Apollo, I want to thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I didn't have to keep bending the truth. I don't know what I would have done without you. There, don't mention it. You're amazing today, Apollo. Well, I couldn't have done it without Dirk.
A dragon never yields.
I mean, he's still kind of a dick, but I guess he came through where it mattered. Dragon never yields. Every lodger should take that to heart. It seems both sides have no further objections. Would Dirk Sedmati please take the stand? This court awards the orb to the Defiant Dragons per the stated transfer agreement. There wasn't like a not guilty thing to show there, so... there's just kind of a blank spot. Of course, we still have to find out who the benefactor is and get Maya back. Should the Kingdom of Kurain claim ownership, the matter may have to be deliberated in court all over again. I just hope, or shall I say pray, that I'm not the judge presiding over that one. Indeed, a trial like that might spark an international incident. Still, there are bigger and more momentous things to stir in the air. A revolution. Dirk's really serious about this. This court is adjourned. Nice work, son. Finally broken through the last obstacle on the road to revolution. Revolution? It just doesn't seem real. Yes, well, to think you actually defeated the Fighting Phoenix. All I can say is, that's my boy. Well, Mr. Wright did have his hands tied. Who knows if I'd won if he'd been able to fight me head on. See it more like you saved Mr. Wright. Saved him? Yeah, remember what he said? He didn't have to bend the truth anymore, and it was all thanks to you. I don't know about that. Still, I guess it is kind of nice to be appreciated. Mr. Dirk? Now that the Holy Mother's face has been revealed, are you going to have a spirit medium try channeling her? I, for one, would love to see the return of the legendary founder. Yeah, just think about it. Being able to speak to someone right out of the history books. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. What? Why? Face isn't enough. You also need the true name of the one you're attempting to channel. Huh. Do we not have their true name? Paul mentioned something like that. The Founder's true name is only known to the priestess who's been crowned queen. In short, the only living person who knows it is the current queen of Kurain, Garan. So without her help, we won't be seeing the Founder anytime soon. That's no fun. Well, given that our court record just got updated, it seems maybe this isn't over yet. So Dirk, what will you do now? First, I'll start by tracing the route by which the orb came into Dr. Buff's hands. Since we now know it was a politician that asked the doctor to study it, isn't he the one who stole it? No, a political nobody like him couldn't get anywhere near the orb, let alone steal it. He must have had inside help. My money is on someone connected to the royal family. Oh, right, you said something to that effect back in the cave. Whatever it may be, we need to expose their dirty scheme to the light of day. Well, I'm sure Mr. Wright has plenty of information, courtesy of his dirty client. He might be able to shed some light on this. Private Justice. That was fine work you did at the trial today. You did your sergeant proud. Back at you, Sarge. It took real courage to leave your room like that. It's all thanks to you and Corpsewoman Sykes. With my siege defense over, I can finally sally forth. The battle's only just begun. One for me alone to fight. To lose your mother, and then your father, is a terrible thing to endure. Yeah, being wheelchair-bound doesn't help. Private Justice. I've been thinking. It's about time I stood on my own 2 feet. After all, I no longer have Papa to coddle me. Huh? Afraid I don't follow. Take a good look, soldier. This is one small step for man, one giant leap for me. Hold my drone for me, would you, Private Justice? Yes, sir. What is she up to? Whoa. She's standing? What's this? Sarge, you mean your legs? There. The doctor told me I was ready to walk again months ago. But if I admitted I could walk, I knew I'd have to leave the house. So I faked it. Makes sense, but I kept pretending I couldn't walk. But I know Papa is watching over me now, and I'd hate to disappoint him. So, from this day forth, I'm going to march forward on my own 2 feet. A brave kid trying to move forward like this. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it could have been possible that, like, you know, sometimes you don't have to be in a wheelchair permanently. His legs might have recovered, but, yeah, I guess that was the case. Must be so hard this soon after her father's death. Don't you ever stop. You just keep on walking, comrade. Stay brave, because there will be days when you'll want to stop. I have faith you'll find a way to muster the strength to push through them. Yeah, you can do it. Hey, Daddy's back. Mr. Wright, what's that look on his face for? Oh, Apollo. Is everything alright with Miss Faye? She's safe, for now. Well, then we better go save her, quick. Where is she, anyway? I'm afraid I have some bad news. Huh? Maya's not here in the States. She's still in Khura'in. And she's still being held hostage by the mastermind behind this whole thing. The mastermind? That's right. Politician Wimperson was nothing more than a pawn. A P-A-W-N. If they'd capitalized the N at the end of Wimperson, it would have been doubly... Well, not doubly, because the email address was really just his initials, but it would have been fitting. Well, Maya's true abductor is in the kingdom of Khura'in. I don't understand, Mr. Wright. What in the world's going on over there? To be continued? No. As shocking as that news was, it's only the beginning. The beginning of something big. Big enough to shake Khura'in to its very core. Revolution. I was being swept up in a mighty wave that nothing could stop. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what the days ahead had in store for us. Alright, well, Looks like there's gonna be another half to this case, but I guess we'll call it here for tonight. Day 2 investigation. Well, yeah, I definitely figured something was up when the court record was still being updated, but yeah. So now, I guess that also makes sense because we resolve the side of things here, and now we're going to resolve the side of things in Kurain. So yeah, I guess next time we'll see what's happening with the revolution and get that underway. But until then, I hope you enjoyed tonight's stream or video if you're watching it on replay. Have a good evening, and we'll catch you next time.